Hello. Hi to everyone tuning in. Just a few minutes today to talk about something that I have noticed in my career that it pertains to your health, it pertains to your wellness, it pertains to your happiness, it pertains to your fulfillment, it pertains to really more so the emotional health and mental health of people, more so than I would say like physical health. But the thing is your mental health and your emotional health do affect and influence your physical health much more than you know. And that's the topic of this live stream today is just to simply talk about the topic of selfishness in regards to not only yourself, but others, and understanding how this plays a role in your health, particularly your mental health, particularly your emotional health, but in also understanding that your mental health and your emotional health do play a role in your physical health, because if you are not mentally well or emotionally well, that will affect your physical health. So understanding that these factors play a huge role is very important, and how selfishness plays into these things. So I'm going to read to you this incredible, just one page uh, little synopsis from this guy named James Robinson, and it talks about the self, because in our culture, in our society, in the United States at least, I don't know where you're tuning in from, but in our culture, we are very uh, fixated on self. We are very self-aware, or we're not self-aware, but we value self-awareness, and we have this very interesting relationship with self that other cultures and countries and people in the world may not have in the same way that we do. And I think it's very important to understand your relationship with self, with yourself, and then just understanding the how selfishness and self, all the self fill in the blank, right? Self dash, whatever it may be, play a role in your health and your wellness and your mental health, your emotional health, all that. So I'm going to read this. It was very valuable for me, so I just wanted to share it. So that's why I'm going live and reading this. And if this is something that you feel like is beneficial, please leave your comments. Share below, leave your comments, questions, share this live stream, because this is so powerful. So I'm going to read it. It's once again by James Robinson. So he says, selfishness is an epidemic in our day. Our culture teaches us from our earliest days to look out for number one, to pamper ourselves, to encourage self actualization, self awareness, and self esteem. As a result, we have become self absorbed, self concerned, and self consumed. We have also become supremely unhappy and unfulfilled. The reason, says psychologist Paul Kellerman, is that the only path to genuine happiness and fulfillment is through service to others. It is only as we give ourselves away that we can truly discover ourselves. The whole of history contradicts our society's emphasis on self service and self satisfaction. We can learn some great lessons about servanthood and significance by observing the lives and work of men and women who put the interests of others before their own, who put the safety of others before their own, who put the happiness of others before their own. Compare the lives of men like George Washington, Patrick Henry, John Quincy Adams, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt with our modern day obsession with self. The enormous contrast quickly becomes clear. Our contemporary culture beckons us to find ourselves by turning inward. It entices us to satisfy ourselves by being true to ourselves. But these heroes resisted the siren song of self aggrandizement. I actually don't know what that word is, so if someone could help me, it's AGGRANDIZEMENT, self aggrandizement. I don't even know what that means, so if someone could share, I'd appreciate it. They fought for justice, cared for the needy, worked for mercy, fed the hungry, and rescued the perishing. Their greatest accomplishments were the result of servanthood, the key to significance, success, and even authority. Sociologists have identified a link between social service and social authority. Whoever meets the needs of the people will gain the allegiance of the people. It's very interesting. The administrators of many of our social service institutions understand this concept of social development very well. As a result, of the entitlements they have bestowed on others, they have gained increasing authority. Why is authority important with health? That's another question. Just pinpoint that. But as Jesus taught his disciples, real authority comes when we humbly serve others. Check this out. I'm going to read this Bible verse. Stay with me. If you're afraid of the Bible, be brave. In this world, the kings and the great men lord it over their people, yet they are called friends of the people. But among you, it will be different. Those who are the greatest among you should take the lowest rank, and the leader should be like a servant. Who is more important, the one who sits at the table or the one who serves? The one who sits at the table, of course, but not here. For I am among you as one who serves. Luke 22:25 through 27. That was Jesus speaking. Sadly, all too many of us have not fully grasped the link between charity, mercy, kindness, and authority. We have not fully understood that authority comes through service. We have become self absorbed, self concerned, and self consumed. We have also become supremely unhappy. Now, I want to recap this because I this plays into narcissism, this plays into codependency, this plays into the society that we live in where our own mental illness stems from our own self-importance. So I want you to, as you go about your day, week, month, year, life, whatever, whenever you hear the word self, fill in the blank, self-esteem, self-absorbed, there's all these uh, connected ideas to self that humanity has built as a construct. Self, fill in the blank, self this, self that. And I think it's really important to understand that while there is some merit and there is some value in, for example, self-esteem and self-awareness, right? It's good to have self-esteem. It's good to have self-awareness. It's good to have understanding of self. It's good to have, this sense of self. It's good to have a sense of yourself. It really is. However, because we have become so self-absorbed as a society and as a culture, what happens is it goes to the point of, like, for example, with your health and wellness routine, and I'm tying this into health. With your health and wellness routine, I have people in my life that I look at their health and wellness routines and I see what I discern as being self-absorbed embedded into their health and wellness routines. But it's just it's under the guise of self-care, it's under the guise of taking care of their health, it's under this whole pretense of, oh, I'm just taking care of myself and my health. What's wrong with that? But the problem lies in that when you are healthy and when you are able to serve and you continuously put yourself into positions where it's about being self-absorbed, it's about still investing into yourself, where there's a point of diminishing returns, essentially. So if you're spending so much time and energy and money on your health and you're already well, you're lacking the incredibly valuable gift that you have inside of yourself to be of contribution to your neighbors, your community, the world at large. That gift is inherently embedded in the expression of your health, because your mental and your emotional health are tied to that as a contingency for the expression of your health to express itself at a higher level. But you're withholding your gift from the world. You're withholding whatever it is that your ability to be of service, your ability to contribute to the world, simply because you think you need to do it all by yourself. So being self-absorbed and it's all about self when it comes to your health. It gets to a point where it's unhealthy. So as with everything in life, there's an equanimity. It's a tough word for me to say today. There's a harmony. There's a balance. There's an equilibrium. There is a harmony of giving and receiving, right? Like with any relationship in your life, be it a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, whatever it may be, there is a balance. There's an equilibrium in terms of giving and receiving. And if there is not an equilibrium in terms of that giving and receiving, that imbalance over time, it draws on you, energetically speaking. It becomes tiring. You feel as if your contribution or your energy is not yielding the result that it deserves, because you can invest so much into someone and yield so little back. So I really want to emphasize today that, in the world of health and wellness, and I've been in this health and wellness world as a health and wellness educator and coach for something like 15 years now, you really have to understand that taking care of your health and utilizing the healthy tenets and principles, hydration, nutrition, sleep, movement, all of these things are important. The lifestyle factors of health are incredibly important, and when you utilize these things to be healthy, you will be well. But if you're at a place in your health and wellness, patterns and habits in life where you're doing these things and you're healthy and you're well, but you're spending excess time, excess money, excess energy to get the slightest improvement in your health and wellness, but by doing that, you're diverting your time and your energy and your money and your gifts of what you can be of service to the world to sort of being self-absorbed. So there's that, like, it tilts over the edge essentially, and you become self-absorbed. And maybe, for example, your appearance. So how do I look? How does my skin look? What should I wear? Does my body look okay? Like all like these anxiety-driven uh, thoughts and ideas that are really not, in my opinion, of God. They are not from the Spirit of God. They're from a place of lack, a place of scarcity, a place of fear, which causes anxiety, stress, mental illness, and then ultimately it can lead you into relationships that are not healthy. And this can lead to all sorts of issues because then you're leading with these sort of external, extrinsic factors that don't really fulfill your intrinsic needs. So when it comes to your health, tying it all together, focus on the needs. What do you need to be healthy? Don't see the wants, right? The wants are, the new health technology, the new supplement. And don't get me wrong, buy my supplement. It's a very great supplement. But you have to see these things and understand them for what they are, right? Unless you need stem cells, it's probably not worth spending your money on stem cells. Unless you need, this expensive health therapy, it's probably not worth the money or the time or the energy or the effort, because once again, you're investing into being self-absorbed, and there's a point where that becomes completely empty, because the more you invest in your flesh, the more, and especially as you age, the more you realize that your flesh is going to deteriorate and you will die, and everything that you've invested in at a body level will become completely empty and meaningless in the end. And your soul will become more aware of that over time. Your mind, your will, and your emotions will become more aware of the limits of your body, that your body will decay, that you will die, that you will pass. And the moments that you are in your mind, in your emotions, in your will, and you're contributing your soul. You're literally taking your soul, which is this beautiful gift that God has given you, your mind, your will, and your emotions. You're taking this gift that you have and you're contributing that to the world because you've recognized and identified the value. You've recognized and identified your unique gift. And when you live in your unique gift, it's like an artist with that brush, that stroke of paint, that whatever that creativity is within you, or the musician that sings, or the artist that plays, or the builder that builds, or architects, whatever it may be, that gift inside of you, when you are exercising that capacity in your life, you're utilizing your right brain hemisphere, you're utilizing your creative brain, you're utilizing your spatial brain, you're utilizing a part of you that is your gift that God has literally given you. And that in and of itself is healthy for your spirit. So, and we could go on, and I think I should do another live stream on the soul and the spirit and the difference between the two, and how you can do things that are healthy for your soul. But when you do things that are healthy for your soul, ultimately those things feed into the health of your spirit. And the soul and the spirit are very different. So if we understand that we can do things that in our soul, right, our mind, our will, and our emotions, if we can do things in our soul with our mind, with our will, with our emotions that are healthy, and we invest into that, instead of always dedicating our energy and our time and our money to our body, we invest into our soul, and we understand the health of our soul. The health of our soul will then contribute to the health of our spirit. And to be spiritually fulfilled is priceless. That's health is embedded in spiritual fulfillment, for sure. 100%, hands down. You cannot escape life without understanding what spiritual fulfillment is and why it's so important. And the energy that you exude with your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions is what allows you to receive and to kind of live into that spiritual fulfillment. It's where you dedicate your time, your energy, your money, right? Your resources. So, really, I wanted to share this live stream today because I read this passage, and for those of you that didn't hear this, it's a whole passage by this guy named James Robinson, and it talks about being self-absorbed, self-concerned, self-aware, and the connection of self and essentially becoming too self. It's all about me, 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 me. How that leads to being unhappy and unfulfilled, because you're really robbing your soul and your spirit both by being too body invested. So even though I'm a health coach, even though I'm here to teach and train people how to live and be healthy, and that's more focused on the body, I will also talk about the soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions, because these play such a valuable role in your health as well. And if you focus solely on your body, you will neglect your soul, your mind, your will, what you give, and your emotions, and the value of that, and the value of understanding those concepts, and how you can truly live in a healthy way, how your soul can be healthy. We've all heard these terms, like, for example, soulmate, soul tie. We've also heard people say, like, they were a tormented soul, right? These are all very important to understand, because when we understand the role that our soul plays in our health, we can then utilize what we need to within our soul in order to be healthy in our mind and in our will, how and where we contribute to the world, and within our emotions, which our emotions play a direct role in the health of our body. So it's all connected. Your soul is connected to your body, your soul is connected to your spirit. All three of these, the triage, these three are incredibly connected and intricately wired together. And just like the brain, neurons that fire together wire together. So if you are not wired together with your body, your soul, and your spirit, they won't fire together. They won't work in synchronization, because they won't be where they need to be. So I hope this message was valuable. If you didn't hear the beginning, please go back to the beginning, because this passage, once again, from this guy James Robinson, was so valuable, was so incredibly valuable, and I just had to read it. I just had to share it and go live. So thank you so much for your time. Make sure to subscribe to the Healthy Wild Free newsletter at healthywildfree.com. When you sign up, you're going to get a free lymphatic health course and a free sleep health course. These are two areas that I really focus on teaching and training, because sleep is 33% of your life. And if you sleep well, your energy is going to be healthy. And if your lymphatic system is healthy, your immune system will be healthy. You'll have high levels of energy. Your metabolism will work better. Your hormones will work better. Your body will transport nutrients better, and so much more. So make sure to sign up for the newsletter at healthywildfree.com. And once again, if you're tuning into the end of this live stream, please go to the beginning and listen, because that passage was so incredibly rich and fulfilling for me to read and understand. And I think it's something worth understanding at a soul level. Get your mind, get your will, and get your emotions aligned to understand that you have value, and that value is a gift, and that service to the world, to your community at large, um, are just so incredibly valuable. And once you give that gift and you live in that gift, it's a beautiful and divine place to be. So subscribe to the newsletter at healthywellfare.com. Please like, comment, share, leave your comments below, share this live stream if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Have a great weekend. Oh, and get outside.